Today, I want to talk about how Charles Payne just absolutely destroyed the SEC by bringing up AMC's astronomical FTDs in the month of August. And it turns out these FTDs were actually even higher than I first thought. I also want to talk about the latest shell company being used to hide the AMC shorts. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I'll dive straight in with the key information. So, Unusual Wells tweeted saying, in August, FTDs in AMC totaled more than 264 million, roughly 70% of the stock's monthly trading volume. Now this is something I touched on a few days ago, but let's dive even deeper. Firstly, Charles Payne replied, saying, a damn shame. Gary Gensler, what the hell is going on? Why are you guys letting this happen? Charles Payne for a long time now has been on the side of retail investors, going after the SEC and specifically Gary Gensler for all of his failures. He's gone after them time and time again for AMC, for GameStop, for Mullen and for many other companies that have attempted to be destroyed or have already been destroyed by these shorts. We know AMC has suffered with a massive FTD problem for a long time now. But this month or last month really takes the cake. And Dominic pointed out that actually 50 million FTDs wasn't even the peak for AMC. He tweeted saying 50 million AMC FTDs. No, there was actually more. There was 66 million FTDs plus on August 24th. He said everyone keeps talking about the 50 million FTDs, but on August 24th post-reverse split, there was 6.6 million of them, and that corresponds to 66 million FTDs for AMC pre-reverse split. This data is actually something I touched on a few days ago as well, where we saw 50 million FTDs pre-split. But post-split, we saw 11,000 FTDs of the new AMC QSIP and 6.6 million FTDs of the old AMC QSIP, AMC ZZZZ. But obviously 6.6 million FTDs under the new methodology or post-split is the same as 66 million pre-split. I said what was even crazier is this old QSIP number was still trading and still incurring FTDs. At the same time, the new ticker was also trading separately. And on top of that, Ape continued trading and continued setting FTDs on the 28th of August, obviously again post-conversion. Now, Tony Denaro does point out the importance of not combining or not cumulatively totaling AMC's FTDs. He said misdirection on a cumulative number like 264 million makes retail investors seemed uninformed, because obviously FTDs incur day after day after day and shouldn't be totaled. But I think in the same sense, while you shouldn't cumulatively total FTDs, you also shouldn't cumulatively total volume. In the sense of saying if there was 200 million shares traded on Monday, 300 million shares traded on Tuesday and 300 million shares traded on Wednesday, you wouldn't say that there was 800 million shares traded. Each day is separate and each day allows for new trading and for new FTDs. But I do think the number of 70% of all trading being FTDs is still very accurate. If in a full month we saw over 350 million shares traded and over 260 million FTDs, that means that on average, on a daily basis, at least 70% of all trades in one singular day was an FTD. Maybe on some days it was 90% of the volume being an FTD, but maybe on some days only 60 or 50% of the volume. But on average, through the full month, it was 70% of all volume being an FTD. You can currently get a guaranteed free share of Tesla or of Google and up to 15 free shares on top of that, worth up to $2,000 each, which you could always use to buy more shares of AMC, GameStop or of any other stock. All you have to do is sign up to Moomoo using the link in the description below and make the required qualifying temporary deposit. Signing up to Moomoo is free and it's easy, it just requires that temporary deposit, but it's a really great way to help support the channel. And on top of that, Moomoo is very easy to use. They've got tons of technical indicators and advanced charting tools and their own options trading platform. This is something that's not only crazy, but it's also record breaking. And it really makes me think of just how much longer the shorts can actually keep this up. Maybe they could try and push the FTDs to 80% of all daily volume, maybe even 90% of all daily volume. But by the time they get to 100% of every single share being traded, being an FTD, it will collapse. And speaking of collapse, you'll remember the other day I spoke about that trader or that large bank betting the VIX will go to 180 points in the next 5 months. And I said Unusual Wells often tweets about how someone always knows something. And today he's given us a perfect example. He tweeted earlier saying, "Do you want to see a crazy trade?" Yesterday, someone opened SBLK 127 calls for $22,000 expiring tomorrow. But then today, Cisco Systems announced the acquisition of Splunk for $28 billion, and SBLK stock was up 20% on the news. Those contracts were just 4 cents per share yesterday, now over $18.30. They exited today for a 45,000% return in one singular day. That trader turned $22,000 into approximately $10 million in one single day. Someone always knows something. Obviously, we know by now many in Congress and many bankers always trade on insider information. That's how they know to place these crazy trades. And it seems those also trading on insider information is betting the VIX will skyrocket within the next 5 months. Somebody is betting the market will crash worse than 2008 and worse than 2020 very, very soon. But it seems traders of the mainstream media are also talking about AMC's strongest buy signals. It says despite the sharp drop in its share price, AMC Entertainment is a more robust business with better prospects than it was at the beginning of the year. It says AMC's fundamentals are in the best shape since the pandemic. And actually, in my video earlier, you'll know the fundamentals are actually in an even better position since before the pandemic, as AMC, or specifically the box office, is generating way more revenue per film than ever before. And they're saying many analysts believe AMC could potentially reach at least $45 per share because AMC is on track to return to pre-pandemic levels. As I've said before, if AMC continues setting new revenue and profit records and continues to be a successful company, its stock will go up and will set new all-time highs. Now, Dave Murphy has also tweeted some additional information on the latest shell company set up to try and hide the AMC shorts. He tweeted saying, "Welcome to the address of a massive hedge fund, Trey Capital Advisors, who has a put position worth 134 million shares of AMC. This company has over $1 billion in AMC put options and has supposedly a $60 billion portfolio. But it seems their head office is a small shack or a small shed somewhere in Puerto Rico." Crystal Ball previously tweeted about Trey Capital Advisors, who was coincidentally incorporated during the January 2021 sneeze. StockSense Frank also tweeted saying according to the latest 13F filing, the firm manages more than $66 billion in assets under management. But it seems they also only have 4 employees and seemingly have a head office in the middle of nowhere. This is a typical example of a shell company being set up somewhere in the middle of nowhere in a tax haven overseas that doesn't have to fully report their holdings. We know overseas companies don't fully report their positions, specifically their short positions, and we know overseas shorts are not included in any totals. And therefore it's very easy for big hedge funds or big market makers to shift illegal short positions into overseas shell companies in tax havens where they don't report. It seems the shorts are just getting more and more desperate, hiding positions overseas and now incurring massive amounts of FTDs, bigger than ever before. But guys, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always guys, be sure to ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.